Today we have an entitled mother who gets mad over her son receiving free dice. I wonder how this is going to turn out. Without further ado, let's get cracking. Attack of the Entitled Planet! So I play a lot of D&D as a hobby, and I love to DM games on a regular basis. Unfortunately, I live in a small Midwestern town, so I rarely get people over for private games. Lucky for me, the game shop in town hosts Adventurers League, which is an organized campaign group developed and ran by Wizards of the Coast, the company behind Dungeons & Dragons. Without any alternatives, I started DMing Adventure League games at this game shop. I've been doing it for years and I've always had fun. About a week ago, I wanted to start a new private group. Because I was bored with experienced players, I decided I wanted to get people who were new to the game. So I put up flyers around town saying I was looking for people who wanted to play D&D. After a week of people applying and interviewing, I decided on 5 people to make up my party. The party consisted of a barbarian, a wizard, a paladin, a ranger, and a rogue. Most of them were in their late teens, early 20s, except for the rogue, who was a kid around the age 12. I set our first session for the next week. Considering this was their first ever time playing, I decided to do something special. When I texted to each of them on the date of the first session, I also asked them about their favorite color. When the day of the first session came, I went to the game shop early and bought each of my players a $4 set of Chessex dice in their favorite color. When the players came in, they were happy and grateful. Except for the rogue. Rogue looked at his dice and got a disgusted look in his face. I noticed this, but continued on with the session. But all throughout the session, he was very standoffish and was very enthusiastic. This started to become a bit of a problem. So when we came to a break, I pulled the rogue aside and asked him what was wrong.
I don't like my dice.
Okay, what didn't you like about them?
They're ugly, and I don't like the color.
Now to be fair, these dice were pale green with yellow accents to them, so I have to agree that they are not the most attractive dice. Because I felt like I made a judgment error, I decided to rectify the situation. Okay, well how about after this session we go over and pick out a set you like?
Really?
Yeah, I don't want you to hate your dice, but I'm going to need you to be engaging with the group. Rogue agreed, and his mood changed considerably. We continued the session with no problems. When the session came to a close, Rogue jumped out of his chair and ran straight to the dice. After I packed up my stuff and quickly chatted with some of the players, I met up with Rogue. However, when I approached him, I noticed he already had picked out a set of dice. A $50 set of pewter metal dice. Bro, I ain't buying you those.
But these are the ones I want.
I know, but those are $50.
But you said I can get whatever set I like, and I like these.
Dude, I was expecting you to pick a cheap set of dice. Those are just too expensive. I'm willing to get you dice, just not ones that expensive. Rogue thought about it and got my point. He begrudgingly put down the metal dice and apologized to me. We then spent a good 10 minutes picking out a set of reasonably priced dice. He settled on a nice green and black set of $8 Chessex dice. Once that was settled, he thanked me and we left. Now I hope this was going to be the end of the story. Unfortunately, as I've stated in the past, God hates me and wants to prove it. So a week passed and I'm back at the game shop setting up for my next session. After I finished setting up, I noticed I had some time before my players showed up. So I decided to kill some time by talking with one of the employees. Suddenly, in the middle of our conversation, I felt a disturbance.
Hey, are you doing an RPG horror story without me?
I mean, I'm you, so why does that matter?
I called all dibs on RPG horror story stuff.
No, you didn't. I can do whatever I want. It's my channel. Not anymore. This is the crossover episode. So, let's get the situation set up for us. Lights. Music. That's better. Now, let's continue. A shift in gravity caused my body to feel like it was being pulled into something. The air smelled of fried chicken and sulfur. I knew in my heart that something wicked was coming. Entranced by curiosity's seductive power, I turned to look at what diabolical force was approaching. What my eyes saw was short yet extremely obese woman wearing a muumuu and sporting a haircut that said, I want to speak to your CEO." And she was glaring at me with the anger of 1,000 beholders. From behind her, I could make out, surprisingly, a familiar shape. It was Rogue. It suddenly dawned on me that this was his mother.
Are you the guy that runs the Dungeons and Dragon game?
Yes. She then rushed towards me with the speed that I didn't think was possible for her. Within seconds, she was already right in my face.
My boy told me you were being mean to him.
How so?
He told me you wouldn't get him the set of dice he wanted.
The dice he wanted was $50. I offered to buy him a set of dice that was under $10.
Well, he wanted those dice and you offered to buy them for him, so buy them.
I'm not buying him those dice. They are $50.
Don't you dare try to ruin me. I know you get an employee discount.
Suddenly, the employee that I was talking to chimed in. "Ma'am, I can assure you that this man doesn't work here."
Don't you dare lie to me. I know he works here.
"Ma'am, I don't work." Without warning, she slapped me across the face. This was no light slap. This was a Saitama level slap. Now, to his credit, Rogue tried to intervene by telling his mom to calm down and that it's no big deal.
"I don't want no sass from you, boy."
She then turned to me.
"Now you get my son whatever he wants or else I will have you fired. Do I make myself clear?"
"Look, lady, I don't work here and I'm not buying those dice." She slapped me again.
"How dare you raise your voice to me? I want to see your manager."
Even though I was at my wit's end, I tried one last time to reason with her. Read my lips. I don't work here. She then slapped me one last time.
"Don't you dare curse in front of my son."
Now, I'm not usually a confrontational guy. I typically try to keep my calm as best as I can, but after she slapped me a third time, something snapped in my mind, which led me to say some very harsh things. "Listen up, you crazy ham planet. I do not and have not worked here. I do not get a employee discount and I will not buy your goblin a set of $50 dice. Furthermore, due to your actions as a parent, your son is no longer accepted at any of my games." Now, she looked visibly surprised and insulted.
"I'm not leaving until I get those dice."
"Well, it looks like you're gonna have to take your sausage fingers and stick them right up your dried. Find that $50 you made last night working the corner and buy them yourself, because that's the only way you're getting those dice. Now get the out of my face before I slap 400 pounds off your Ralphie May looking." At about this time, I snapped out of my temporary insanity. The rude mother looked stunned as if no one had ever spoke to her like this. Rogue's mouth was agape in disbelief, and the employee was a mixture of horrified and trying to hold back laughter. I braced myself for whatever retaliation she was about to unleash on me. Surprisingly, she grabbed her son and walked out of the game store. As soon as she did, the employee burst out laughing. Once my players arrived, I ended up explaining what happened as well as why Rogue wasn't going to be playing with us anymore. They all had a good laugh. About an hour into our session, the store manager pulled me aside to ask why he received a call from a woman claiming that one of the employees was insulting her. I told him what happened and how she hit me multiple times, causing me to snap. After confirming on the security cameras, he told me that although I was justified in defending myself, he could not allow me to insult his customers. He told me that he was banning me for a month. I accepted and informed my players that we had to move venues. We're playing our 5th session tonight at my place, and I got a new guy to replace Rogue. So that was a pretty interesting story, where it's kind of funny to see exactly how this became a entitled parent, I don't work here story, and a little bit of an RPG horror story. Speaking of which, if you actually are interested in more RPG horror stories where things go wrong during the actual adventure, then please check out my other channel, which I'll put up at the top. Otherwise, please let me know and comment below. If you like what you see, leave a like pretty please, subscribe as well, and ding that little bell. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.